I know, I know, I know. You don't want to hear it, but we're getting close to back to school. Been there many, many, many years. Right now it is August. It's kind of the middle of August, but we're getting close to that point. What is something that you need to get when it's back to school? Potentially a new laptop. Wham! Wham! Here's a laptop. This one here is a Dell Inspiron, you can see here. I reviewed a similar Dell in the past. This one here, however, is a Snapdragon one. I did a bunch of Snapdragon laptop reviews. I really like Snapdragon laptop reviews. I think they still offer really, really good benefits for people in specific needs, such as students. So actually, Best Buy Canada reached out to me. So they asked me if I wanted to review one of the laptops that they are selling on their website. What advantage does a laptop like this offer? We'll go through that in this video here. Because it's a Snapdragon-based laptop, it offers a couple really cool benefits. Obviously, very good battery life. Efficiency of the Snapdragon is still king. It still is king. For if you're looking for a Windows-based operating system, you want to have incredibly good battery life, but still good performance. The Snapdragon stuff is still king. Okay, so let's just have a look at the Best Buy Canada website now. This is the laptop here, the Dell 14 Copilot Plus PC. Looking pretty good. It's actually called a Dell Precision, but that's okay. Titan gray color, cool. It does have the Qualcomm Snapdragon. There are many of them. This one is the Snapdragon X X126100. It's actually a newer version of it that was launched in, I believe, January of this year, 2025. And then we do have some other specs here, so we'll just pop down here. By the way, it is on sale right now, at least. Back to school sales are pretty cool. That's sweet. That's a really good price for what it is, 800 bucks. That's Canadian, by the way. That's a very good price. Anyways, so it's coming down here, 512 gigabytes of storage. That's actually pretty good at this price point, especially getting you guys started. It's a decent amount there, no problems. Of course, you can always use external storage in that too, but that's pretty good. 14-inch screen's not the finest resolution, but it's 1200p. That's going to actually facilitate better battery life than a super high resolution screen. And at 14 inches, that's still pretty good pixel density. We'll get into that later. You do have good fast Wi-Fi here, Wi-Fi 7. You'll see that's nice and quick. Of course, you have Bluetooth 5.4 as well. Good Wi-Fi 7 is really nice as well. Good port selection on it as well. Lots of different options here. But, I mean, good price, to be honest. So let's jump into the review now. Okay, so let's see what we get here with this lovely, lovely Dell. I have become a fan of Dell in the recent few years. I mean, I've used them over and over the years, but I've just found that they have kind of stepped their game up. But these are lovely, as you can see here. Obviously, it's coming brand new, immaculate. Speakers firing down there, grill on the back there. Now, these aren't as light as some laptops out there, but there's a reason why. So we'll just show you the weight here. 1547, so a little over 3 pounds. Still pretty light. Power brick's not too big either, so once we get everything in there, if needed, 1730. Of course, you don't have to necessarily use this power brick. You can use like a little tiny one if need be, just a little USB-C to take with you. Now, the reason it's not the lightest thing in the world is the material that it's made out of. So we have metal type design here, right? Nice premium materials around. That's going to give it a little bit more weight, but it also means that it feels premium, resists damage and cracking and things like that, and it's incredibly structurally sound. Like, you throw this in your backpack to take with you to business meetings or school or whatever, it's going to feel structurally sound, right? Very nice. If you're a one-hander, which always treat your electronics with respect, but if you're a one-hander type of person, you know, because it's metal, you're not going to have as much issues with, you know, plastic and that. No creak either. Silent. It's really nice. Actually, my current laptop has really bad creak. It is what it is. Now, it doesn't look as thin on camera. It never does. It's just the way the camera is. The lid here has a little bit more thickness to it, which you may think is bad. I think it's actually good because it means that the lid is a little bit more resilient to impacts, to bending and that kind of stuff when it's a little bit thicker. If it's too thin, yeah, you could potentially have some bending and thickness. A little bit of bending due to it being a little bit too thin. That's good there. But the actual chassis is so thin. It doesn't show up on camera at all. Like, it's so thin. I have skinny fingers, by the way. Let's come in here with like a little USB. Here's a USB. Even at the back, it's considerably thinner than even a USB. It's like USB thin that way. Actually, the chassis is, other than the bottom. Pretty much is. That's impressive. Yeah, so I mean, it's a super thin laptop. Despite that, it does maintain nice rigidity in the hands and all that. It doesn't feel cheap. Ports are good as well. So you get a micro SD card on the left here. These things are often used for people who are doing like creative tasks on the go, camera work, that kind of stuff. having access to micro SD on the go is really essential. And these type laptops appeal to those people partially because, I mean, they are capable, but they also have a really good battery life. So if you need to take something on the go and get tons of work done, maybe you fly a lot or something like that, or you're just at your site of your work for hours and hours and hours, you need really, really good battery life. Potentially you want to have access to USB, to micro SD card right there. 2 USB-C, one of them you can use for charging. And then on the right side, you get a legacy port. I hate that I have to call it that sometimes, but you get the USB-A. USB-A is so foundational to still have on laptops. It's critical. And you do get one of those, which is impressive because the laptop itself is like as thick as that, to be honest. And then you get a microphone, headphone combo jack. Generally speaking, getting inside these is fairly easy. Here we go. Pop that open, nice and easy. Metal bottom. Gives it some structure, does add a touch of weight, but it just also works as a heat sink as well. So just nice. It's nice to see a little metal bottom. Inside looks pretty good, honestly. It has a 54 watt hour battery. Now you may look at that and say, only 54 watt hours. I mean, this is a Snapdragon. So despite the fact that it has a 54 watt hour battery, it should last for a long time. We'll see when we get there, but it should have very good battery life. Another nice thing about it as well, because it's a little bit small, it's still a relatively large battery for a 14-inch, but I mean, sometimes you can get these things with tiny little batteries, but it's, they could potentially have, filled this up here, but then you'd have more weight. Speakers look pretty good. These are the rectangular style. They're not going to probably have as much thump and bass as some big boys, but they should sound pretty good. Again, I would assume that there. Inside for storage, we do not have large 2280 or anything like that. We just have a 2230 there. That's one negative, but I mean, for the audience of this laptop, they're probably not loading on huge amounts of files. I always would like to see more. I'd always like to see, 2280, because 2280 does facilitate 4 terabytes and 8 terabytes. Right now, you can easily take this up to 2 terabytes with no problem. That's for the battery. Underneath here, we do have the Wi-Fi. It is soldered. However, it does have a heatsink on it. That's cool to see. I like to see that. Keep it nice and cool. CMOS battery. And the fan is relatively large as well for just a Snapdragon. I mean, we have this decent size area on the fan there. I find that Dell laptops, especially with this curved style, they don't produce like a whirring sound or any annoying noise with their fan. So that should keep the acoustics tolerable. Regardless of how loud they go, they shouldn't make an irritating sound. And the heat pipe is, there's only one, but it's thick enough. And it's a Snapdragon. So again, it's not going to need tons of watts to get its peak performance. It's not going to have to run at 100 watts or something like that. So it should run pretty cool. Now, the trackpad and the keyboard. As I mentioned earlier, I used the Intel version of this laptop for many months, and I really like, if you watch my channel again, I'm picky about keyboards, you know that. This is a low profile keyboard. You can see the physical keycaps are very small. They're not, like, the actual height of the keycap is small, but it does have a lot of travel. You can see that there. Good travel, and it's snappy. Let's come in here and we'll do a quick typing test. Yeah, it's super snappy. It just has a snappy feel to it. It's kind of like a MacBook, but better. Like, think of a MacBook keyboard, but not bad. That's pretty much it. It has the same type of element of that of a MacBook, but MacBook keyboards, I'm not a fan of MacBook keyboards. I'm sorry, Mac users. I own Mac products. I just don't like their keyboards. I'm sorry. This is significantly better. It's a really nice typing experience. It has like it's not black. These keys aren't black. They're like a very, 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 very dark gray. So they do actually resist fingerprints quite a bit. You can see there's a backlight. It's not the brightest thing in the world, but if you turn off all the lights, it's just enough to really help when you're typing. So you can actually see the keys, right? Like that, you can actually see what's going on. Just helps you find the keys, helps type a little bit. It's not a super bright, RGB type thing. It's just a little bit of backlighting, which is honestly, that's all that I want. Trackpad is not massive, but it's adequate. That's the size that I personally prefer. I don't necessarily like bigger trackpads. That's just me. It's not glass, but it is smooth overall, and it has a really nice sharp click that I like. And it's consistent. You can hear the sound. It's consistent all the way across. Not common. So really nice. Inputting to the laptop. Now this laptop is focused very much on battery life and on the go, things that would matter a lot to a student. So it doesn't have, that's not the right thing. It doesn't have the finest resolution or anything like that. You know, it's not a glossy OLED screen or anything like that, but it has incredibly good reflection handling because it's a nice IPS screen. I am not the fan of OLEDs. I'm sorry, I'm just not. They don't work for what I do. And this laptop is in a field that would work for me. It would be something that I would be interested in, and I don't want OLED. I want an IPS like this. That's just me, because I need to have very good reflection handling. Like there's a light right there, right? I need to have very good reflection handling because I'd be using this in a work environment, professional environment, on the go. For students, it would be the same thing. Professional would be the same thing, right? It's not just for content consumption, watching shows and that kind of stuff. This is an on-the-go professional laptop. It is only 1200p. On a 14-inch laptop, I'm okay with that. If it was bigger, like 16-inch, I don't personally like 1200p at 16 inches. You've watched my channels, you know I just don't like it. I find that the pixel density goes down too much. Some people don't care. If you're really focused on that, you won't care. Again, you also don't have the highest refresh, but it's not meant for that. Oh, you have 48, cool. So you can actually lower it even more if you're reading documents and that kind of stuff to get even better battery life. But it's not really meant for, you know, like high level graphic design or anything like that. That's not really what it's designed for. So you will get slightly muted reds. That's the primary area, I guess I'd say, that you'll notice the lower color space, where the reds are not going to be as like, kind of like, they go from like a, you know, a natural blood red kind of tint, which is where this would be, down to a slightly more muted, a little bit of an orange tone. It actually looks worse on camera, to be honest. It actually looks better in person. Go like that there. However, the blacks look pretty good, especially for an IPS. Nice and uniform with the lights off and that. Like you can turn off more lights, get it darker and darker. And even with that, I mean, you're getting no bleed or anything. So it looks pretty good. I mean, it's not going to be, again, the same as like a high-level creator screen, OLED, 100% DCI-P3 color space. For the pixel resolution here, if you guys know my channel, you know that I love more and more resolution, but that part of that is because I do creative work. So the more space that I have for video editing, the more space that I have for mapping and that kind of stuff, even screenshots, the high resolutions are better. However, at 14 inches, I am not actually against 1200p. I don't like 1200p at 16 inches. I find that the pixel density is too low for me. If it's a gaming laptop, I mean, that's a whole different thing. But for this type laptop here, it is actually not a big deal to be at 1200p. And you don't have issues with text or anything being, you know, like essentially having too much pixelation or something where they look janky, because it is 1200p. Okay, so watch your headphones, because I do expect it to get relatively loud. Now it is also on this kind of sound deadening rubber material. Let's actually put something under here, because typically I don't like that. Okay, it's gonna get super loud. Watch your headphones, holy smokes. It's hitting 80, it's only at 40%. It's gonna get so loud. Almost 90. Actually, the speakers are very good. I anticipated they would be at least decent, but they're actually really good. They get incredibly loud. I'm not sure how they got them to be so loud, and they don't get distorted at full volume. Like there's no like tinniness or rattle. It's actually too loud. It will actually hurt your ears, like physically hurt your ears. So that's good. I mean, it's good. You could, if you had this like on a kitchen counter or something and you were like walking around your house cleaning or something, you were playing a show or music or something or a lecture, you'd be able to hear it easily because it does get incredibly loud. The good thing is, though, the audio in general is good. So it's nice and clear from low all the way up to max. The mid-range is excellent. The high end is also excellent. And there's even a little bit of low end, not true low end rumble, because the speakers just they're not big enough. Like you need some nice large speakers like thumpers to really get that low end bass, but it's pretty good. Honestly, the speakers are significantly better than I anticipated. And that's going to be actually a selling feature of this laptop. They're really good. Now, here's another cool thing that I think when it first came out, a lot of people were, I don't know, they just weren't really into it. But I've actually had time to play around with it a lot more. And that's some of the Copilot features, just general AI. I mean, I've watched Terminator. I'm not the biggest fan of AI for everything, but there are elements of AI and that are built into something like the Copilot here that are legitimately designed to make your life significantly easier, and they actually do work. So just hitting the Copilot button, this is new. It looks like, at least for me. So there is GPT-5, which is slower. You can do quick response. So we could do a quick response here, option like this here. Let's just ask it something. I mean, we could do the mic, I guess.
Hey again, what's on your mind?
When was the company Dell founded?
Dell was founded in 1984 by Michael Dell. It's been around for quite a while now.
When was Best Buy founded?
Best Buy was founded in 1966.
Oh, what?
It's been a go-to spot for electronics for decades now.
I actually didn't know if I found it that long ago. Cool. Yeah, that was good. Good job. Good job, person. Let's go think deeper. What could we ask it that's cool? Let's go this route. Oh, okay. Cool. Big little style core layout. Didn't know they did that either. Battery that life at last. That is the most compelling feature of them. I mean, they also have built-in AI acceleration. Obviously, I'm using it. Isn't that cool? It's like an Inception moment. But part of it is also the battery. That's some of the AI features there. There's other things you can do here as well. Let's see if I can live captions there. Put the wrong name in there. Live captions. So live captions are really cool because they're another AI feature that you can use when you don't necessarily have captions built in. So YouTube, for example, where I'm going to be publishing this, I mean, you have the captions built in. They also use AI to generate them. I could create captions and upload them to my videos, but it's very difficult. I don't have the time for that. Personally, I'm a one-man show here, but I do enable them through YouTube. I let YouTube do it, and for various languages. You might be watching them right now. Including English, for people who may have hearing impairments or just I don't talk the clearest, I talk quickly. It's the way that it is. But there's also the fact that there's different languages, that kind of stuff, and it's important. I am a big advocate for improving accessibility, whatever that is, and however it comes about. Accessibility is key. So let's just look at something. Let's just look at another video. It's completely unrelated to this here. Sure, this one. It's just a video I published today. It's not related to this video. It doesn't matter. Where'd that go? It doesn't matter. I don't have captions here. I didn't put them in. This is just a raw video that I got from my iPhone. Let's go like this here. So we're going to minimize that for a second here. Welcome to live captions. Yes, continue. English, you can pick your language. You can go in here and mess with different languages. I'm English speaking. Now, if you are watching a video from YouTube, like I said, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes you can turn on captions. But what about if someone sends you a presentation and you have issues with maybe their accent, your accent, the level of speaking, the way they speak quickly, maybe you're hearing impaired straight up and you're watching a video that doesn't have live captions. This is an AI feature. This is happening because of I guess I'd call it Copilot, but it's just, the Copilot AI features built into Windows now. It's happening locally based on the AI components of these chips. If you don't have an AI component built into your chip, into your CPU, APU, you can't do it, right? You'd have to use a different method of doing it. You'd have to do it on a cloud or something like that. This is happening live. So I can actually use this on YouTube as well, but you can. You can use it here as well. It's fantastic. It's a fantastic feature, to be quite honest, because it does allow you to get better accessibility for something like this. If you are a student or something like that, learner, you're in meetings, that kind of stuff, this is very important in my opinion. This is very, very important. Ooh, filter profanity. I don't swear in my videos very often, at least, but that's cool. Caption style. Ooh, I haven't played around with all this stuff. Very cool. So you can also, there's people who have audio and visual impairments, right? This is a high contrast. I think this is technically considered a high contrast for people who maybe have some degree of visual impairment. Larger texts, right? Not everyone has eyes like mine. I don't have perfect eyes either, but I can see from this far. Everybody's different. So, I mean, the AI stuff is, I don't know why there was so much of people being like, oh my God, AI is bad and Copilot is terrible. And it's like, but also not at all. I mean, yeah, you're going to be using it in a way that you want to use it. So in this case, for me, this thing is super useful. I've been finding that online searches are more and more unreliable, unfortunately. And if you just want a quick answer, like I've already done here, what is MS Copilot? Can it do it to itself? Yeah. you just need a quick response, right? Like nothing that's going to be like life altering. Like how do I carry out this brain surgery real quick? This is very useful for stuff like students. I'm not a student anymore. I was. Now I'm the teacher in that level. And we didn't have this when I went through university. We would use things like Wikipedia. And I would tell my students before AI was out, go to Wikipedia first. Go to Wikipedia first. Get an idea of what you're using here, what you're looking at before you get into a project and you're just going completely blind. I mean, part of it is you could read, like seminal papers, that kind of stuff. But even that can be overwhelming for some people too, especially like first and second years. Go in there. Use something like Wikipedia at the time. Nowadays, it's a little different. Now it's go in there and use a little AI feature like this. Get yourself acquainted with the topic. Get some talking points here. Get an outline set up. Use a feature like this to get something. So make me an introduction, a bullet point summary of the benefits of using a laptop as a student. I hope if I spell right. Boom. Right? Like it's just able to give you the initial point. And yeah, there's issues with, confirmation. You have to validate your sources, that kind of stuff, but it gets you started. Now, Snapdragon APUs actually have quite good iGPUs. People may think that's only for gaming, which it can transit to gaming. So long as the games are compatible with ARM chips, they'll run just fine. But what it is more specifically designed for is professional tasks. So, I mean, yeah, their GPUs typically, if they're good, they'll be good for gaming, in theory, as long as they have the drivers and that for it. But that's not what this one is specifically designed for. These GPUs are designed for professional tasks like this video editing. So you can see here, it's already nice and snappy. You move in the clips, you're already able to move around very effectively. The clips are essentially processed, ready to rumble. Ready for work. There goes the audio coming in. It's not going to be as quick, like I said, as 7945HX, but it's quick. That's 18 minutes, 18 and a half minutes of 4K 60 video. These are huge files, obviously. We're looking at, 7.25 gigabytes of files processed in, like 5 or 6 seconds. And like at this point, you can fully scrub through. Everything's good. The other thing is, I can't really show too much of it, but a lot of video editing software nowadays actually benefit from AI acceleration. But you need to have AI built in. It's not like fake AI, like there was fake AI from back in the day where it wasn't really AI. It was just like, I don't know, like a generic algorithm that would be run. Some software, this one being one of them, have actual like proper AI that you can come in here and you can do things like assistance, like it'll run through there as well. But you can also come in here and you can run, and this actually won't pop up if you don't have AI. All these things here, these won't pop up if you don't have AI. Actually, I was playing with the laptop. I can't remember which laptop I was messing with a few days ago, and you don't have all these AI features. There's other functions you can do, like you can do all kinds of stuff in here. Auto edit, like there's just so much you can do here, which you can't do unless you have the neural processing units on the chip. And we'll do a 4K 60 export here. 4K 60. You can come in here and you can see you do have your hardware encoder. It doesn't say what it is, but it's a hardware encoding. That's way too much. We'll just take that down because I want to actually get results in this video here. So let's just as a case example, we'll just put in here, that's almost 3 minutes. So we'll just go like that. That'll be fine just for this little test case here. Very good. 4K 60. Run that. Almost 3 minutes. Go here. And it's already going, this actually goes up in the beginning, but it's already going through a few percent, looking at a percent every few seconds. So yeah, it's going to basically run through faster than 1-to-1 based on my estimate here, which is good. I mean, I have a laptop right now with a very, very, very beefy iGPU, the best on the market. And honestly, it doesn't really do much better than this because this is dedicated. Like that's kind of what the drivers are for on these Snapdragons. They're designed for these specific tasks to do things like this type of workflow. So they're going to be nice and capable. There's no point sitting here watching it, but it'll rip through just fine. 4K 60. So if you're doing, 4K 60 multi-stream video editing, a lot of people will kind of tell you have to use dedicated graphics. Like, you have to have like an NVIDIA GPU. You do not. I know that because I do all my channel on high GPU. It's just what I do on an Ultrabook. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at I guess we can do some Cinebench runs. We know what the Snapdragon can do, the various different models here. It's an 8-core CPU, it does reasonably well. It's not meant for, heavy, massive code compile and that kind of stuff. It's meant to be effective and efficient. It is completely silent. There's actually a fan in my hallway on. That's way louder. I don't even think the fans are on. Well, they're on. They're just impossible to hear. I mean, they're Snapdragons, right? They're so efficient. They're so efficient. I don't think that Hardware Info is able to actually show the wattages, unfortunately. It does show the clocks. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just, I guess, a limitation of Hardware Info. We can't check the wattages. It is what it is. It's fine. Okay, the fans are on now. It's so quiet, though. My noise floor is like 34. Just a couple quick benchmarks here. Looking at the SSD that's included, it's a Gen 4 drive, pretty standard speeds here, despite being a 2230. That's very good. The Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi 7, so it was able to totally max out my Wi-Fi without any issues whatsoever. Then, of course, the most important thing here that I've been rambling on and on about with the laptop, and that is the battery life. Snapdragon laptops are battery life kings. So here I've been watching some 1080p 60 YouTube. I actually just kind of like watched the video for a super long time. Normally I only do these for like 10 minutes and I watched them a lot. It's like 45 minutes here I've been watching. Anyway, so full brightness, full refresh, nothing changed, nothing weird about it. And it's getting like 15 hours of battery life. 15 hours of battery life. I'll just say that again. Watching 1080p 60 YouTube. That's absurd. That's absurd. And again, this doesn't have a 99.9 watt hour battery. It has a 54 watt hour battery, which is more than enough, as you can see here, because you're getting like a couple school days or a couple work days worth of battery on this thing while doing actual tasks. This is, the type of thing you're going to take on a trans-Pacific flight and still have battery life when you land. So it's very impressive. I mean, that's one of the reasons you would buy this. It's just such good battery life. So thoughts. Again, this is, Best Buy sent this over, which is pretty sweet for me, obviously. Take a look at a laptop that I haven't reviewed before. They know that I buy stuff with Best Buy. The vast majority of the tech that I buy, interestingly, is off of Best Buy Canada. It is what it is. And I also tell a lot of my community I find deals and I put them on there because they have good deals often. So that's just what that is. But this actual laptop, let's talk about this laptop specifically. Is it good or is it bad? Plain and simple, it's a good laptop. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. Niche being, obviously, it's not going to be in the same niche as gamer laptops. Like if you're going to get yourself a big behemoth, with the highest end CPU, the highest end GPU, you don't get good battery life, you don't care about any of that because it's about gaming performance, something like that. This here is meant to be a very portable, very thin, this never shows up thin on camera, but it's a thin little thing. Super portable, but nonetheless premium laptop. It's not super heavy, despite the fact that it does have a lot of metal on it. Inside, the components inside look pretty good. Everything looks generally pretty good. I like the keyboard on these laptops. I like the trackpad on these laptops. I really like the acoustics of the components inside when it's running, there is almost none. It's very, very quiet. Screen on this one here is more focused for, just being not super expensive, but having really good battery life. So it's totally fine for the niche of this. The niche of this is someone who needs truly all day battery life. Like I'm not talking like, I can probably get by with like 5 or 6 hours. I'm talking like 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours. This is what this laptop is designed for. You take this, for example, as a student. I would have loved to have had something like this as a student back in the day. But anyways, take this as a student and you can basically go power brick free, probably for the whole day. Even if you have class at 8 in the morning and you even have a late evening class, you're probably still cooking with a laptop like this. But despite that, you're still going to get the performance that you need to do other things. So it's a fantastic laptop in that regards. It's not heavy, easy to carry, good premium design. So it's very, very good. Again, we're coming up to back to school. Unfortunately, it is what it is. It's a cycle of life, school time. And if you're looking for something, especially if you're like a university student or something like that, or you're a professional who does a lot of commuting, plane type commuting as well, where you may not have access to good power, this is a killer laptop for you. You're going to get true all-day battery life. It's still the king. The Snapdragon stuff is still the king. That's fantastic. And then, of course, you do have the AI features as well. Very good if you're a student. Honestly, I would have the things I would have given to just have these AI features as a student back in the day, as an undergrad, for example. So check it out. Check out this one here if you're looking for all-day battery. Honestly, it's fantastic. I'm not going to go through the back-to-school stuff yet because it's not there, but keep an eye on it. I'm sure that they'll be popping up soon enough. And then we get into the Black Friday stuff, and then we get into the Christmas stuff. I mean, there's always deals to check out. So be like me and be a deal hunter. Check out the Best Buy stuff. And there you go. That's the laptop there. Very good.